Hello editors, I'm Thomas. I'm a professional YouTube editor with millions of views across my portfolio, and here's 30 ways to improve your edits right now. Number 1, use rotoscoping and smooth animations to have elements fly out from behind you. This works really well with icons and also something like a floating window presenting an image or highlighting key information. Just duplicate your layer, rotoscope the subject out, and then animate the positions of the different elements, starting from behind the subject using ease out and ease in on the keyframes for smoother movement. Number 2, this will actually save you hours, and it's to create a project file for each client or kind of video style or aesthetic you're editing, and have all of the text, animations, sound effects, repeating visuals, overlays, and whatever else you use on a repeating basis. Then when you're editing a new project, all you have to do is copy and paste these over. And before anyone comments, yes, you can use presets, but that doesn't cover things like sound effects or complicated transitions that need adjustment layers for you to put them in. So, Number 3, don't make a composition too busy or crammed. It's better to separate one scene into two if the composition becomes too busy. Number 4, glute bridges, boys. Your butt is way too weak from sitting too long. Number 5, don't trust your brain to remember anything. Use a program to capture GIFs from your favorite creators and reference those GIFs when editing to develop your aesthetic. Personally, I use CleanShot on Mac and then throw them into a gallery database in Notion like this. Number 6, use Photoshop to edit the colors of your assets to match the branding of your client or the atmosphere of your scene. For example, if you have a darker scene that you want to look more cinematic, use the S-curve for a more cinematic look and push more yellows and oranges into the highlights with blues or teals in the shadows. It's these details that separate high-end editors from you. Number 7, one of the most important aspects for good-looking edits is to have a clear separation between the elements on your screen. One way to separate graphics from the background is to add a spotlight or moving overlays. Number 8, you can also cut graphics out and combine them with video overlays from sites like Pexels. This works for many different styles, whether it be kind of like cool anime scenes or high-end looking business content. All you have to do is have a PNG graphic, drag the video overlay on top, play around with the layer type thing here, and then boom. Number 9, sometimes a simple animation like a slide-in can look boring on its own, but multiple different elements timed slightly behind each other can look more dynamic. Number 10, forward lunges to stretch those hips, boys. They're way too tight from sitting on your weak butt all day long. Number 7, learn from editors who are better than you if you can. I actually have a free timeline. You can access it through the link in the description if you want to download and learn from some of the effects I talk about in this video. Number 12, if you need a background, use ChatGPT to generate whatever you need. You can always enhance it with an AI upscaler afterwards. Number 13, you can mimic the effect of a cinematic camera lens with blur masks. What this looks like is if you're moving elements around, you can blur part of the composition so that the focus remains in the center. This also works really well if you have elements that move closer to the camera or are in the background. Number 14, 10:30 p.m. Go sleep, boys. Editing feels so much better listening to the birds singing at sunrise than looking like death at 2 a.m. Number 15, flip a graphic, add blur, and play around with the dimensions to create a reflection effect, or simply drop the brightness too to create a shadow effect. Number 16, generally speaking, simple is always better. Movements that are too big end up distracting the viewer or creating an uncomfortable watching experience. Number 17, use minimal slow-moving backgrounds with text as a way to highlight important information. Number 18, you can color keywords or make them bold to make text even more appealing. Number 19, use different sizes and styles of text to create satisfying text graphics. Number 20, and then use a simple fade-in animation by keyframing opacity and position to achieve this effect. Number 21, you can also animate a line coming in for extra emphasis. Number 22, if you're displaying any kind of image with sharp corners, just add rough edges, adjust the border, and make those corners slightly round. It just looks better. Number 23, speaking of moving elements, sometimes when presenting a graphic, adding a slow floating effect will just keep the video moving. You can do this by keyframing little bits of movement. Number 24, you don't really want to add floating to anything involving text. Instead, keyframe a simple scale animation to have the camera slightly zoom in or out for movement. Number 25, great edits are always moving, and one way to add spice to a still background is to add a slight film grain overlay. Number 26, heading back to the Gaussian blur, you can use this to remove a distracting background to bring forward a key graphic or display text. Number 27, for your sound effects, using a high or low pass to alter the sound of your sound effects can be great for creating different vibes. It can also make your voice sound something like this. This would be the high pass effect. Number 29, rotoscope out a figure and add a kind of smooth gradient in the background if you want to kind of separate yourself. It just looks kind of neat, huh? Number 30. Alright, this one's relating to copyright. We all know there's those companies that love to just flag every video under the sun, even if you're kind of under fair use with a tiny little 2-second clip. Well, you can kind of avoid this if you flip the video, or if you speed it up slightly or slow it down slightly. Makes the copyright detection system, just break. But be careful with copyright business when it comes to editing. But even if you implement all of these techniques, you're still missing what it takes to edit a 1 million view video. So if you want to know the difference between a 1 view edit versus a 1 million view edit, well, you're going to want to watch this video here.